Well, I got the TF2 footage out for this one. You'll understand why if you watch this video. So, Logan's been copyright claiming videos. Again. So for those who haven't already heard about this situation, myself and many others have suddenly started getting tons of claims on videos with Logan's content, such as reactions, reviews, and discussion videos. I had actually made a script about this situation a while ago, but that was before we knew if Logan was the one doing all of this. But now we know it sort of is him. Sort of. You see, Logan got a company, SuperBam, to automatically claim re-uploads of his content. However, this has seemingly done much more harm than good. Why? Well, because it's been claiming reactions, reviews, and even discussion videos as well. And it isn't just me either. This has impacted myself, Math Dominus, the SMR, Super Mario Nick, Ray Rants, just to name a few. While I was editing this video, I went and looked for SuperBam's website, and as it turns out, they have 1 star on Google. Not 3 stars, not 2 stars, not even 1.5. They have 1 star. Yeah, that bodes well. Now, I'm pretty sure I know why this is happening. The bot is simply too sensitive on the content, and so takes a scorched earth approach to anything that might have even just several seconds worth of Logan's content in it. It could find the entire video, or it could find a several second long snippet of a video, and it'll just claim the video in its entirety. Many times it doesn't even require the sound being on for the video to get claimed. I did ask Logan about this, which was also how I figured out having the company scan for his videos was intentional, but that the claiming of reactions, reviews, and discussion videos was not intentional. But don't worry, Logan has a solution for this. Just message him. He'll email SuperBam, and they'll exempt your channel. Maybe. So do I really need to explain why this is a problem? This has so many hurdles to get over, not just for those who make content about or even involving SML, but for Logan as well. Let's start with people other than Logan. First of all, you have to find where to message Logan. Then you message Logan. After that, you wait for Logan to respond, or even just see the message. After that, Logan has to email SuperBam, which to be fair he might just forget to do since he might be busy. And then SuperBam has to acknowledge the email, finally adding you to a list of exempted channels. Then, and only then, will this problem go away, and only for you. Anyone else still has to go through all of that. Oh, and don't worry, this will be an issue for Logan as well, since then he's suddenly getting tons of messages from people asking for exemptions for their channel, or worse, the messages just get mixed in with a bunch of other messages that have nothing to do with it. Eventually, he might just get tired of it and stop responding altogether. Or hell, he might not even respond to begin with, like how he didn't even respond to the SMR or Super Mario Nick last I checked. And what's the actual success rate of this bot anyway, where it's actually claiming the things it's meant to and not claiming reactions, reviews, and so forth? If I had to really venture a guess, I'd say at the absolute most a 50% success rate, and even that's pushing it. That's the generous amount though. I'd say a more realistic rate is 25%. Although thinking about it now, even that's really stretching it. You mean to tell me 1 in every 4 SML related videos on this site is a re-upload? I think the real rate is somewhere around 10%. But you know what, let's continue being generous and say the rate is 25% for the sake of argument. So for every video that's an actual re-upload to be claimed, 3 others are reactions, reviews, discussion videos, etc. that happen to use Logan's content. Also, something I noticed was that Logan was claiming videos with the plush characters in it. Now, I'm not going to jump to conclusions here, but at the same time, aren't those now for all intents and purposes the property of the company we shall not speak of because of the cease and desist? Although if nothing else, they're not Logan's anymore, since Logan basically can't acknowledge they exist. Again though, not jumping to conclusions here, since maybe Logan worked something out with them on that front, but who knows. So what's the solution to this conundrum? Well, there are a couple ideas I have. Let's start with the first option, that being Logan's method. Logan's method, and I can't stress this enough, is honestly probably the worst fix for this. It has so many hurdles to get over and isn't really a fix at all. Sure, you might get Logan to respond, or you might not. SuperBam might exempt you, or they might not. Or they might just ignore the email from Logan.
I'll get to it eventually.
For crying out loud, even I'm still stuck on a hurdle, since SuperBam literally just hasn't acknowledged Logan's email about the issue. And hey, what happens if you do get your channel exempted? Does that mean your channel gets all the claims removed? Or does that mean that you don't get any from then going forward, and you still have to remove all the old claims manually?
Every one of them. Individually.
Needless to say, this isn't a good method. The second method is the one I'd consider the most of a compromise. This second method involves Logan making whatever bot is being used ease up on how sensitive it is to videos. Like, for example, it should contain both the video and audio from a video, it needs to be longer than a few seconds, or arguably even a few minutes, and it has to be a nearly identical copy. If someone is talking over it, has facecam, is doing a review of it, so on, it shouldn't be counted. Now, this method has a problem of its own. We don't know how much control Logan has over this, or if that's more or less up to SuperBam. Maybe this is a case where Logan can give over the videos to SuperBam, but after that they make their own decisions as to how they claim them. And actually, given how he can't even put in exempted channels without emailing SuperBam, my guess is that there's very little he can actually do on his end. I think I'm beginning to understand why they have such a low score. You know, aside from all those other reasons. So here's the third option. Logan simply stops doing this and has SuperBam remove any claims that were originally made. I know this is the opposite extreme of the bot taking down everything, where instead nothing is taken down, and honestly, I don't see too much of a problem with it. If the bot is getting a 25% success rate like I mentioned earlier, that's still the vast majority of the content that it's getting, just flat out being wrongly claimed. Besides, this option of Logan not doing this has worked well for years at this point. I get he wants to claim videos which are literally just his own content with zero changes, but is it really worth all this hassle? Not only is it a pain for everyone else, but it'll ironically enough be a pain for Logan as well. In fact, I think Logan simply staying the course will do nothing but backfire in the long run. Not only will Logan's method be an absolute pain for literally everyone involved, but there are plenty of people who would normally talk about Logan's content that are considering just quitting because they can't be bothered to deal with this. And that'll be a problem for Logan as well. Why? Well, part of what makes certain things popular is people talking about it. But if no one can really talk about it since there's a bot running around nuking content, people will just go talk about something else. And this is already in an era where Logan's popularity is slowly waning compared to where it was. The last thing that's needed is to make that whole situation worse. And trust me, I think if this keeps up, very few people who would otherwise talk about Logan's content will bother even staying. There's too many hurdles and too much hassle for people to care that much. Also, since I know someone is going to mention this, sure, obviously they could counterclaim, but not only do you have to do all of those individually, but the claimant gets days or even weeks to respond before the claim is lifted. Imagine having to wait multiple weeks because a reaction got claimed. Wouldn't it be crazy if you got like nearly 200 of these, all of which you would have to sort out manually, individually? Luckily that's just a hypothetical. Oh wait, so that's a brief synopsis of what's going on with this whole situation. I guess only the future will tell what will happen with this, as well as just how much damage it'll cause. And before I go, others, such as Super Mario Nick and Ray Rants, have made their own videos on these situations, so you might want to check those out if you want to hear more about this. For now, thank y'all for watching, and take care.